Hi, and welcome to Kyle Clayton's QC Chronicles. Kyle has just got here, but he wants me to introduce Erich Pilcher to give a, what would you call it, in memoriam of the director William Friedkin. Eric, there you go. We got him for 10 minutes.
Thanks, Eric.
The great thing about William Friedkin is how he was able to consistently, no matter the subject of his film, convey this suspense, but also draw you into each and every character. And he was most known for the film The Exorcist, but The French Connection is one of the great crime thrillers of all time. To Live and Die in L.A. I mean, he has had so many great films. It's a shame that The Exorcist overshadows all of them. And The Exorcist is great in its own right. And I'm not going to talk too much about that film because it's being covered for classic film reviews in October. But I don't think any other director has done The Exorcist than William Friedkin. Just the way he was able to do it in the shot selection he used. That's what makes that film truly terrifying.
What did you just say, Eric?
Eric.
We were busy here.
Eric, I will take over. John, I don't know what you did to the audio. There's three Erics talking to me. There's a lot of commotion.
I don't know. We got
Why did you adjust the audio?
Well, it was we had the triple audio. I thought that would help. It already exists.
Okay,
Do you want
that's.
me to turn it up?
Uh,
It's your show, man.
I know. I'm just trying to listen to what Eric's trying to say, and I cannot convey a conversation with him. Eric, I truly apologize for the unprofessionalism of this show right now.
Have we started yet?
Okay, Eric, say something.
I was talking about William Friedkin and how it's a shame that as great as The Exorcist is
The
as a
Exorcist. Okay, I
film,
did hear that.
it's what he's most well known for.
See, we got two speakers here, two sets of speakers. So he sounds like Lou Gehrig, saying goodbye to Yankee Stadium. I kind of like the effect.
I don't, Eric. I am listening, and yes, amongst the exorcism. What other movies has he
He did the one that had the most acclaim was The French Connection. He won Best Director for it and Best Picture. Although I feel that the film that won Best Picture, that should have won Best Picture that year, was a Clockwork Orange over The
Of
French
course.
Connection.
He has a lot of accolades, absolutely, and
And
he's not afraid to get weird with it. And apparently, that's not our fear either. So that's good.
the thing that he did that was so great, and I said this earlier, is no matter the subject matter of the film, he could make it suspenseful. He would have the viewer sitting on the edge of their seat, and he almost drew you into a personal relationship with each cast member in each of his films. With The Exorcist, you feel the pain of Father Karras. You feel the pain of the mother watching her daughter being possessed. You feel the fear of Reagan as she's being possessed. That's a skill not many directors have, that William Friedkin was able to do in each and every one of his films.
I agree. I think it's kind of pioneer of making people go out of their comfort zones, which I look for in movies now because I think everything's kind of, I don't know, rudimentary at this point. But yes, I truly agree that he's gone outside the box, which is hard to do now because most things have been done before. But he really does stand out in that aspect.
And a lot of people like this film style, but they don't attribute it to him, and I feel they should. He really brought into the mainstream the gritty documentary style filmmaking, where everything is just as if you're watching it unfold in front of you. It's happening as you're watching, not that you're watching a movie. That's another great way he was able to pull people in.
John, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I would say, Eric, is the thing that William Friedkin brought to American cinema, and he was one of the wonderkind directors of the 70s.
Yes.
The top three would have been, at the time, would have Friedkin, Peter Bogdanovich, and Francis Ford Coppola. Martin Scorsese really hit a little after them.
A little late to the
And that he brought hyper-realism to cinema. If you see On the Waterfront, Elia Kazan's movie about the union corruption with the great performance of Marlon Brando, he adopted the techniques of Italian neorealists, and which was unique at the time in '54. And when you're watching a Friedkin film, Friedkin started making documentaries in Chicago for television. That's how he became well known. And then they gave him then he got directing gigs in Hollywood. But he brought realism to the screen. When Hollywood and studio films had just died, virtually died. And he really had quite a talent, but he remade The Wages of Fear as Sorcerer, and that failed, and that really hurt his career. And then he made Cruising, which was very controversial at the time, about murders in gay bars in Greenwich Village with Al Pacino. And that nearly took down Al Pacino, too. But he's a director that will be well remembered. And To Live and Die in L.A., I know you're going to go in 5 minutes. I've got a clip of the car chase from that, which I think that's a masterpiece, too. But here's a trivia question. What actor from The French Connection, which won the Best Picture 1971, was also in Patton, the Best Picture winner of 1970? Do you know that, Eric? When the clip started out with the French Connection scene, he was in it. Bill Hickman.
Oh, they're asking Eric still. I knew
Bill
that.
Hickman was the greatest stunt driver of his time. He did in Bullet. He did that famous car
That's
chase.
right.
And then he did the chase where, for the he's doubling Gene Hackman. He's the one in the car. He was the greatest stunt driver of his time. And he'd be known, even if he didn't do that, he was with James Dean. He was on James Dean's racing team, and James Dean died in his arms. He was there when James Dean died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Hickman plays a hitman in Bullet, and which was also produced by Philip D'Antonio.
In Bullet, I didn't know James Dean died in his arms.
Oh yeah, Bill Hickman was well known as the greatest of stunt drivers in the movies.
Of all time? Is he in your top five?
He's got to be it.
Number one? Okay.
I mean, Bullet is a great chase.
Hal Needham gets all the acclaim, but I do agree with you on Bill Hickman. I think Bill Hickman's ahead of Hal Needham.
I could not name five stunt actors if I got to my
Hal
head.
Needham was really a stunt guy that Burt Reynolds brought into Hollywood.
Well, you only got a couple of minutes before you leave us for that. What's the guy's radio show you appear on?
It's Matt Connarton Unleashed on WMNH Radio.
I love that
Right.
show.
Oh,
show.
geez. We've got a grump over here.
I love Matt Connarton's show.
My God, where did this grump come from? Did you bring him in, Kyle?
I did not. I absolutely would never do that. And I hope Matt Carton's production quality is better than what we're doing right now. I hope it's smoother for you down there.
It's a great show.
I'm not normally a technician. And
Well, it's not the technician's fault. It's not the
forgiveness.
technician's fault, but
John, the production quality has been A+.
I kind of like your echoing, but
it's very hard to hear. But I thank you, Eric, for coming in.
I can hear him.
he's still got a minute.
Yeah, you got a minute. Yeah, hang out. it's we pay you for this minute, so.
But by the way, I think that William Friedkin was lying and that they didn't have any permits when they made that chase. Since the New York unions, even when I was there in the early 80s, were heavily mobbed up, it's doubtful that anything would happen in New York without somebody being paid off, including the police. So maybe that's what happened, you know?
It could be.
Because Friedkin said they do this monumental chase where there's a car crash and everything without any permits.
Yeah, I think that would be it would be encouraged without a permit. But I don't know. I wasn't there, John. But
Filming in New York, they didn't really care as long as someone got greased.
that's true.
That's probably true. Well, Eric, thank you for being on Kyle Clayton's QC Chronicles. And we're going to end with a clip from L.A. To Live and Die in L.A.
Bye, guys.